Hello everybody. Today I'm here to compare my design of 22 to Disney Heroes Battle Mode official design that just came out not too long ago. And she's not quite in the game yet, but I'm excited to discuss what I came up with for her skills and her design, and then compare it to what they came up with. So let's start out by looking at the one that I made. I think some things to note are definitely the very obvious circles that I've placed on her cheeks there. I think the one closer to us is a little bit more egregious, but then also the lines I usually only do in black. I did a little bit more of, in the style of the movie, they color the lines. And then obviously the facial expression, and I want to zoom in here on her little pass on her chest, which, we'll look at a little bit more later comparing to the other one, but I just want you to see it here. Let's move on to the official design. Again, looking at the cheeks, looking at the colors of the lines, and then the overall expression. The badge on this one is covered up, but they actually have one of her skills as an icon of the badge, so here's that as well. Now let's look at them both together. I think there are some things that I did pretty nicely. Overall, their detailing and everything is always superior, but I think the expression I chose is a little bit more, I don't know, I guess she's somewhat goofy, but it looks kind of weird, I think, and I think mine more looks like the character. And yeah, the cheeks are really the thing that stand out to me now. I thought it looked fine when I made it, but just comparing it to the actual one, they look pretty horrible. But other than that, I mean, pretty similar overall. It would be hard not to be. They're not that different. The color is really different, and I think they captured it a little bit better, or at least it's a lot more visually interesting on theirs, which I've seen kind of as a recurring thing here. I don't know if I need to up my color game or what, but finally let's zoom in on both of those badges and compare them. Well, all the emblems are obviously the same. I mean, I was straight up looking at a reference and just tracing the lines of the reference, so I don't know how ours even look different, because I mean, they must have had a nice image of it too, so I don't even know why it would be different. But like, the colors are different. The colors make sense, I guess, and theirs might be more accurate, but I know for a fact that at least like the rain cloud, where there's actual rain coming out of it, that's how it looks. Maybe in certain scenes it's different. I have no idea, but I know for a fact that I just straight up looked at an image of it and copied it down, so I don't know why they're different, but either way, they're both pretty similar. They both capture the same feel, and I was always happy with the detailing I did for mine. So obviously it's at a bit of an angle here, but it still looks pretty good, I think. But yeah, that's about it for the design, really. Like I said, not a whole lot to talk about. We can start going through the skills. I'll just read off one of mine and then read off one of theirs, I guess. The first one I had was a basic attack where she would throw sandballs instead of like snowballs at people who are in the zone, which is a clip from the movie. I guess we don't know what her basic skill is yet, but that's not one of her other ones. So something similar, I guess, is that the mischievous chemist 22 hurls a flask at the enemy with the highest basic damage. Once it explodes, enemies in the area will be blinded for a duration and dealt fantastic damage. I feel like if the sandball was a thing, it could basically do the same thing. Makes sense to me. But yeah, their skills ended up choosing a lot more from that one specific scene where she's trying out a bunch of different like jobs that she might be interested in. Like, genuinely 3 of her skills are about that completely. Next up is sticks on Joe's head and blinds him, which is another just scene from the movie that just straight up isn't represented here. So I'll just read the next one, which is kick back. 22 hits a soccer ball at the frontmost enemy, dealing fantastic damage. Enemy gets knocked back while also having their movement and attack speed reduced by % for duration. I mean, 22 does a lot more than just in that one scene in that movie, and it feels weird that they're entirely taking from that scene. Because there's so much more that she can do, which we'll continue to see with the skills that I came up with. And I think at least a little bit more thought out, or more capturing of her overall personality than just this one snippet of it. Like the next one where she shoots pizza out of her butt, which is a pretty iconic scene. I felt like that was what makes all the kids laugh, I think. Cause it's kind of crazy she doesn't have that. Maybe she'll have an animation like her victory animation or something. It's her eating a pizza. I don't know, but it felt pretty crazy after seeing that I included that they didn't. Because I feel like that was a pretty obvious one. Maybe they didn't want to go for that kind of toilet humor joke or something. I also had her slapping Joe, where that could be her basic attack as well, where she just slaps people, but we have yet to see that. I said that her helicopter leaf should be in some way, the one that kind of inspires her in the real world. For the ending of her spark, which one of her skills is called My Spark. For each buff removed from real men, the enemy takes no damage, has stacks fatigue applied to them, and its energy removed. They basically do the same thing. I thought it was a little bit more meaningful to have the helicopter leaf in there. Maybe it really could be, I guess. I don't know if it does or not. But it'd be a fun animation to have her hold it up in front of her, because I thought that was nice in the movie. And then finally I said her entrance animation could be falling to earth like she does at the end of the movie. But again, it's yet to be seen. For the friendships, the first one I mentioned right off the bat, and I saw a bunch of people actually saying this in the comments of the official video as well, is that disgust should have been her friendship, which, I mean, I kind of agree with their choice of joy. I was kind of surprised at the time that I said disgust, but it certainly does make sense. They have a pretty similar personality, I would say. And at the time I felt that was right. I saw a lot of people saying it in the comments too, so obviously I was not alone in that thought. But I do think joy fits pretty well. And I did actually mention that if it wasn't discussed, joy would probably fit as well. I did say that in the original video, but ended up saying disgust is the main one. As another character, I was trying to think of someone who had musical attributes similar to Joe. So I had Animal and Powerline, which the official one was Quackerjack. I mean, I don't know how I would have guessed that, but I don't know if my music choice was all that strong either, but it could have been interesting, I don't know. But overall, it started off pretty strong where we were both pretty similar, and then we just completely deviated in the skills. And I don't know whether to say that my skills are necessarily better or worse than hers. Like I said, I took a bit more from the wider scope of the movie rather than just one aspect of it. What's hard is that she spends a lot of the movie in Joe's body, which just is unusable in a character, in a game like this, really. But she does other stuff, and I think that it would have been more interesting to see that stuff than the fishing and the soccer and everything. But still, it's a fun moveset, I suppose. But yeah, that's about it. I'm guessing you guys probably like hers better, but like I said, I think that I got the expression a little bit better. I do like that she has her arms folded here. I think that's a nice touch. I kind of just had her hands out to the side. But I think it would have been hard for them not to look pretty similar because there really isn't a lot to her design. So we both did good. The smile is almost spot on as well. I neglected to mention, but they're pretty much one for one. Anyways, I have nothing else to say. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon. Goodbye.